Hello. So day two was basically, the first few days of any of these sort of trips, you're going to get pretty sore, especially after riding 5 or 6 hours. So day two, I decided to ditch the RAM mount that actually had the charger, GDC, I think they call it. The main reason for that was because the charger was actually because I was running Google Maps and also the Rever app, it was actually draining the battery. Even though it was charging, it it continued to drain slowly but surely, drain the battery. So I got the hell out of using that GDC, and I put it in in one of the bags. Um, even today, even on this day, I was just overloaded, and it was affecting the performance of the bike, and also making it, pretty tough for me getting on and off the bike. Just too much stuff on there, and so I decided that night, halfway through this journey, I decided that night that that's it. I'm going to basically go through every bit of kit that I have and just get rid of anything that I might want to have and just keep the stuff that I need. And it made a big difference. But as you can see there, I've got the Samsung Galaxy Samsung 360 Gear camera going. I usually use it entering into any of the major cities that I'm going to, or if there's anything really cool to look at, I run that. I've done about 100 videos so far with that. The Samsung Gear 360, even though it's not the perfect camera, it is still pretty good. Um, the great thing about it is you take the video, you download it to your phone, you can crop and edit and crop the video, save it to your phone, which takes a little bit of time. Like for every 1 minute, you're basically looking for 1 minute of footage, you're looking at about 10 minutes to download it, because what Samsung does with the device is it actually encodes all the 360 stuff on the device. So it'll do all the work for it. Then you can just pretty much share it to Facebook or YouTube after you've cropped it. So the process is really simple, and that's what makes it so effective. It's a very, very simple process of shooting the video, putting it on your phone, and then uploading it to doing a little bit of an edit and uploading to YouTube. It's best to keep the videos probably between 1 and 2 minutes, because if they get 3 or 4 minutes, sometimes they take a long time to get on the phone. You can see I'm adjusting it. Put this yeah. I got rid of that actually. That thing that I bought for the camera, it just started falling apart only after a few days. So it's more for, it's what was a cheap type one, and I bought something a little bit more sturdy for it. But basically, the first the roads going from Tarpon Springs to Laguna Beach, anywhere through Florida and all that was pretty boring. It wasn't until I think about day three, that my third or fourth ride, that I decided that I'm not. As you can see, I'm adjusting everything. So you've got to get the camera facing the right way. You've got to make sure that the mount is steady. Yeah, okay. So that's the reason I did it. I was crossing a bridge, and you get the camera setting right, and just make sure it's on the right video setting. So it's full HD. You can shoot it up to 4K, I think. I'm pretty sure. No, not 4K. Yeah, no, 4K. I'm pretty sure you can actually. Yeah, it's pretty cool. You can see the stitching on the sides. But anyway, I was talking about the roads. The roads are pretty straight and very flat. I mean, you're going to get through Florida, Alabama, even the lower parts of Alabama, the lower parts of Missouri, and even Texas. It's all very flat, which is a little bit boring. Um, but I had to get from Miami to LA to get into Baja, Mexico. So it's the route that I took, and I decided that the main part of the trip was, from getting into Baja and then beyond. So I just decided that I'm going to do a lot of miles, and so I was doing between you know, about 480 kilometres, which is about 300 miles a day for the first seven or 8 days, just to get a large chunk of the ride out of the way. I stayed in a few hotels. Laguna Beach is actually quite pretty. Um, they have a lot of pretty cheap sort of hotels that are quite nice. I mean, I was there during the off season, so it was probably a little bit cheaper. But it's actually a pretty cool sort of little area. Tarpon Springs is nothing at all. It's like a really crappy sort of mall city where it's just big highways and just shops either side selling junk. Um, so that wasn't really exciting, but you know, I got, you know, a good part of Florida out the way on the first day. Um, so basically, the bike setup I had could takes a fairly big load, but it was just it was just getting in the big problem for me was getting on and off the bike. Just having too much stuff on there. It's all right when you've got your bike parked on some bitumen or hard surfaces, but eventually I'm going to be parking, you know, stopping the bike on dirt roads and stuff like that. And you don't want to have so much weight on the bike that you know it's going to tip over if you can't get on and off it properly. Um, so it's just too much gear. And once I got to Laguna Springs, I think this was day 2 or day 3, I can't remember. But once I got to Laguna Springs, I had that basically. I just got all the gear out of all the bags, put them into categories, and then just started whittling away everything. I sent about 2 boxes back to myself. Um, so what I did is I put all the stuff in one bag. I gave away a whole heap of stuff to one of the maintenance guys at the hotel. You know, it was probably about $1,000 worth of stuff all up, but I just didn't want to keep carrying it. Um, and and then I basically packed one bag that I was going to take to the post office and send back to myself. Um, and that was, you know, that for me that was really important to lighten up the bike. But I mean, I had no problems with everything else. The bike was running smoothly. You know, I was getting around about at that stage on the highways. I was getting around about 42 miles per gallon, even with the load, which is pretty impressive on a bike like this. It's a big, powerful bike, and you know, once I started getting a little bit north, a little bit further north, as you know, coming into Laguna Beach. I was lucky enough to have a bit of a breeze too because it was very hot. It was 30, it was 36, it was about 95 to 100. And it's not so bad, but you know, the only problem you have with the heat is when you're stopped. You know, it just really starts getting to you when you stop at traffic lights and stuff like that, which I didn't have too much of. This is a really nice road, this one, even though it's pretty straight. It was quite beautiful. And again, the camera angle is a bit screwed up in this video and the next couple of videos, and then after that I've got all that sorted. The reason for that is I actually when I was getting to the, because I was doing like 9 hours on the bike each day. When I actually got to the hotel, I just downloaded the videos directly to the hard drive. I didn't even look at them, so I couldn't tell that my drift was one click too low, and which is a little bit frustrating because there was some really nice shots that you can see of the water and stuff like that. So basically, I think this was the last day that I decided to. I think I had one more day, sorry, on the highways. Then I basically decided, okay, I'm going to use Google Maps and start avoiding highways and just take a little bit more time. As you can see, it's really pretty road. And the one thing about all these places here, even though we're now in the deep south, the lawns are spectacular on the houses. I mean, they're so well kept and all that sort of stuff. there's a lot of Trump signs and stuff like that, which is I find very amusing, and not so much Hillary. But the properties are really nice and really beautifully kept and all that sort of stuff, and they have really amazing lawns on the front as well. As you can see, though, if you look at the waterline on some of these properties, if you can remember what you just saw before, the water is only a few feet. If so imagine on king tides and stuff like that, the water would actually creep across the roads and stuff like that. But it was a really cool to see so many of those houses that are just, they really look like really inviting. Even though I wouldn't live in those areas, they look really inviting to. And sort of with all the trees and all that, it feels cooler. Whether or not it is, I don't know. But yeah, so this was day two. I ended up in Laguna Beach, and I stayed one night in Laguna Beach only. So it's basically you get to the hotel, you unpack, you shower, you try to have a beer or two, relax a little bit, then prepare everything for the next day, and basically just sleep. I'm not a big sleeper as it is. 4, 5, 6 hours at night is all I need. But I was falling asleep at like 9 p.m. and waking up at 6 a.m. So the first few days, your ass is going to be sore, your neck's sore. Yeah, so the trick is for me is to basically about once every 2 hours to take a 15-minute break. And once you get to about an hour and a half, you just start looking for a nice little spot to have a break. The best things to do is to drive into the little towns and go look for a park, because there's usually a bench and you can usually ride right up to it, and you can unload your backpack and your helmet and put it on the bench and just relax for 10 minutes. Usually I would actually lie down on the actual bench and just relax and take about 10 or 15, stretch yourself a little bit. Yeah, but the main things you get sore if you don't have cruise control on your bike, which I do have. If you don't have that, then your hands are definitely going to get sore. But you get the back of the neck soreness for the helmet, and you also on your ass gets a little bit sore as well.